I'm going to be discussing lifts. I personally did not get a lift, but I know a number of people who have, and it's been successful and it's worked out smoothly. Also, keep in mind that with your benefits, you can get a lift later on. You don't have to take one right away, and you would like to wait to get a lift. You have a certain amount of time, depending on your benefits, of when you can get a lift. So I have 3 years to use that specific benefit. So if I don't want to take a lift right away, I can still get that benefit later on. Really helpful to know. So in the lift, first you have to decide if you want to take a lift. If you do decide that you have enough items that it requires a lift, or it's more convenient and cheaper to take a lift, you email different individuals, different lifts, to get an estimate. But first you need a list of all the items that you want to ship. So you need to go around your house and you need to make a list of all the items that you would like to ship. You have to estimate their approximate value, and then you get an estimate from the shipping company. There are a number of shipping companies you can choose from. The ones that I heard the most positive things about were Kef. I'm going to link all of these below, by the way. Kef, Aliyah Lift, and Strand. All of those are going to be listed down below. Also, Nefesh B'Nefesh has a really extensive explanation and guidelines for lifts on their website, which I'm going to also link below. So make sure you check out the description below, and you're going to see a list of all the links that I'm going to leave for you about shipping company guidelines that Nefesh B'Nefesh gives you, and the links to the different shipping companies that were suggested to me. And then you can go and ask them for an estimate based on the things you have listed of what you would like to personally ship. There are different shipment sizes that you can get. You can get a 20 foot, you can get a 40. It depends on how much you want to ship. Majority of people, I believe, get 40s from what I've been told, because I asked a number of people in different Facebook groups, and all of them said that they got a 40. You can share a lift, but then you'll have 2 separate documents of the items for each person. Insurance on your lift is so important. I cannot stress enough. There is possibilities that it will fall off of the ship at some point into the water. There is a possibility that things can get ruined in the ship. There is a possibility that there will be a leak. There is a possibility for anything to happen. Everything is of value in that shipment, so it's really important. This is your life. This is all your stuff. So you do want to get insurance. Everyone I spoke to suggested that you get the highest quality insurance, but I am aware that that can be incredibly expensive, so you make sure that you check out all the insurances. These shipping companies are competitive with each other, so make sure you get quotes from their other prices, and then you can compare, and then you can discuss it with them and see if you can, push them to maybe lower the price. But do remember that this is your items that are going to be shipped to Israel for your continuing life in Israel, so you do want the best. When you are shipping your things, I have a few suggestions. One suggestion is that you take a picture of all your things in case something gets broken or something gets ruined in the shipment. You do want to make sure that you have pictures of documentation showing that it was not broken beforehand, so you can prove it wasn't. You are going to make a list of all your things, a very extensive inventory list of all your documents. I believe you do have to give an extensive document list to the shippers, and you have to have one yourself, or it's smart to have one yourself. That way when you do get it, you can go through it and make sure that you're checking off everything. Something else that I suggest, Jamie Geller and her husband use this really great idea. As if you ever saw her Joy of Aliyah videos that she did with Nefesh B'Nefesh, of numbering their boxes according to the room that they're in, that the things that are being packed into those specific boxes are going in. So like the boxes for all the kids stuff is number 59. And then when the shippers come to the house, when you're in Israel, you put a number on the door saying 59, so the shippers know exactly what room to go to with the box. And it makes things so much more simpler and helps smooth out the whole process. So that was a really great idea that I do suggest. Something really important to know about getting a lift is that you have to time it to when you're going to be in Israel, because if it's at port for longer than 3 to 4 days, depending on your shipper and depending on the port, then it's going to cost you money. It's going to cost, I think, approximately $25 to $110 for the rental of the container, and for the port you have to pay. So you have to pay per day afterwards, so you don't want it to be a long time. There are some times where your shipment can get stuck at customs, and that is something else to be aware of. There is an approximation of the dates and of the time you should set beforehand on the Nefesh B'Nefesh website that I'm going to link below. So make sure you check that out. Scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. It has the list of the numbers, and they're really, really important and helpful. It's in a chart form. It's very easy to read. Do check that out when you're deciding if you want to take a lift and how much time you have and when to send it. That's a really helpful thing to do. There are also 2 foundations that are actually Christian foundations that help people with expenses in Aliyah. Now, one of the biggest things that they do is they help with the expenses of a lift. It's called the Cyrus Foundation and Operation Exodus. I will also leave their links below in the down bar. Some of them do ask for personal information, pictures, names, things like that about you and your family. Keep that in mind. Also, if you're not comfortable with that, then you shouldn't use them, because that's part of their operation of what they do. Each shipping company is different, but keep in mind that a lot of shipping companies, I believe the majority, if not all, will bring the boxes and the tape and everything to you. They will pack it all up with you, for you, and then they're going to pack it into the container the same day. There are some shipping companies that do it different days. There are some companies that I guess it's cheaper, or they ask you to do it. Whichever it is, it depends on your shipping company. That's something that you would need to ask them. Also, if you live in a city or another place that it's not the easiest to get a massive truck into your area, it may give you an option to load elsewhere, but it also usually gives you an option to load at the home. Make sure you check that if that's what you prefer. When they do pack everything into the container, they will seal it with a visibly sealed lock. That it should be sealed when it comes to your home in Israel, and they are going to cut it open with these massive pliers. And that's how you know that everything was sealed, from the time that it left you to the time that it got to Israel, and all your stuff should be intact and shouldn't have a problem unless something got moved in the thing and broke. They will pack it to the brim. They will use every space available to pack your things. So if you're concerned about space, keep in mind that they do pack it to the brim. So when you're estimating space of what container is best and smartest for you to take, measure things. Measure things, try to add it up. They have the measurements listed on the Nefesh B'Nefesh website, on the link that I'm going to give you, where you have the measurements of all the different sizes of the containers, the 20 and the 40, and they list how much room is inside, meters by meters, and it's really, really helpful to measure everything out and keep a list. The insurance that the shipping companies will offer you is sold as a percentage of insured value. That means that you list the estimated value of your things, and there's 2 types. I'm not informed on those, but again, it's on the Nefesh B'Nefesh website, and you estimate the value of the things that you're shipping, and you give them and you sign off on that estimate, and then they give you an insured value amount that they're selling to you to insure all your things, that when you go, you do not have to insure everything. You can insure certain things in the lift if that happens, like an antique desk or a really expensive bed frame, things like that. Also keep in mind, when you are sending a lift and you are sending larger items, that you do want to measure things that are going to be in your home in Israel, and that you have then, because the sizes are different in the homes in Israel. The corners are different, the rooms are different, they're not as large. Sometimes your washer dryer won't fit, so you do want to keep certain things in mind. The voltage change is really important when you're thinking of what to ship. There's also a list of items that you're not supposed to ship. That I'm going to link below as well. That's really important to look at while you're deciding what to ship. And also certain things you're not supposed to ship together. That's also really important, and keep that in mind. So please look at the list extensively while you're making your decisions of what to ship, when to ship, if you want to ship. And good luck. I really hope that this helped. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will either answer your question or point you in the right direction. Good luck on the Aliyah process, and stay tuned for more videos.